Jussie Smollett just gets more and more ridiculous as well. You remember Jussie Smollett? He's the actor standing trial in Chicago for allegedly faking a hate crime in late January of 2019. He told police and media that two men, remember that? Two men had stopped him 2 in the morning on a cold Chicago night, hung a noose around his neck, beat him up, yelled pro-Donald Trump slogans along with racist and anti-gay slurs. Well, now the crazy story has taken yet another crazy twist. His defense team says he had an affair with one of the attackers. Well, joining us to weigh in now is David Harris Jr., host of the David Harris Jr. Show and podcast, and Amber Athey, Washington editor at The Spectator. David Harris Jr., you watch this stuff like we do, shaking our head going, you know, Jussie Smollett, he's an actor. A lot of tears when he sat down with NBC, but I don't know. Now he's saying that the people he hired, two African-American guys, say that they were hired by Jussie Smollett to beat him up, and they said, hold your punches a little bit. I don't want to get hurt too badly. It's on tape. Everything. Now, all of a sudden, the defense that Jussie Smollett is presenting is that one of the attackers was actually a gay lover of Jussie, and this may be some sort of payback to Jussie Smollett. What do you make of all this, sir?
Eric, it's absolute nonsense. I mean, I don't think that there's anything that any American could despise more than a hate crime against somebody racially, a hate crime against somebody for their sexuality or their gender. The only thing worse than a hate crime is faking a hate crime and then trying to demonize a whole section of the country, a whole group of Americans like myself that support Donald J. Trump. He's been outed. Whether there was, I don't think there was any gay quarrel in this whole thing. The videotape evidence of him rehearsing this fake hoax of a hate crime is incriminating. He's already lied. He went on national television, lied and cried about this entire ordeal. They're throwing anything at the wall, hoping something sticks so that he doesn't get his butt thrown in jail. And I hope that not only him, but every single other politician and pundit, Kamala Harris is in there as well. There's got to be some transcripts, some text messages where she was standing up for Jussie. They all need to be held accountable. That's what the American people should see, just like we saw justice for Kyle.
All right, let's bring in Amber. Amber, what are your thoughts on this from the outside? I mean, this guy sent himself a hate letter before setting this whole thing up, yet somehow he's the victim.
Yeah, it's obviously a huge cry for attention. And look, this trial could not have gone any worse for Jussie. In addition to that videotape that shows them rehearsing the crime, both of the Austin Darrow brothers testified that Jussie wanted them to set up this hate crime, pull their punches to give him enough bruises so that it was believable, but not enough to actually hurt him. And they also said that they felt beholden to Jussie because he had done things for them in the past, and they treated him like a brother. So they wanted to do this for him out of the kindness of their hearts, I guess, although that's a really twisted way of looking at it as well. And you can tell that the Jussie Smollett defense team is so desperate to do anything in this trial to save their skins. Just today, the defense actually alleged that the judge lunged at his lawyer, and they're asking for a mistrial. The New York Post reported that they did not see any evidence that that happened. And that was at the same time that the judge was admonishing the defense for introducing evidence that they weren't supposed to regarding the Austin Darrow brothers' alleged homophobia. So this is just a total disaster from start to finish.
They want me to wrap it up. David, I got to ask you this. When this happens, when an African-American minority perpetuates a fake, a hoax, hate crime, this undermines the real struggle of African-Americans and minorities who are under some influences of racism in America at times. I'm not saying systemic, but there are occasions of racism. Am I right?
You know, because of the country that we live in, the greatest country that we live in the history of the world, because of the past that we have, obviously there is a large part of the black community that has that definitely feels for anybody that would ever deal with some kind of race crime. So for Jussie to use that, to me, it just, again, exposes how truly evil and divisive the left is, that they don't care who they hurt. They don't care who they slap in the face. It's an absolute slap in the face for every single American that has ever actually dealt with a hate crime, especially racially motivated. And Jussie Smollett doesn't care about that. Neither do pretty much any of the other Democrats on the left. It's pretty disgusting.
All right, well said. Well said. David Harris Jr., everybody, and Amber Athey, thank you guys both for joining us today.
Thank you, Eric.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, we're real news for real people.